What is populism in politics? In this video, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to explain the three branches of populism. I'll explain how it is roiling our politics and how you can act on this information if you intend to get into public life or even if you're just interested in politics. What is it? It is, in its barest form, an appeal to ordinary people who feel that their concerns are being ignored by the political establishment. Nothing more, nothing less. I said there were three branches of populism. What are they? Social issues, arguments over immigration, penalties for repeat criminals, arguments over education and what is taught in school, what is going on college campuses, what teachers are allowed to tell students about American history. Second one, foreign policy. There are arguments going on in the United States about our role in the world. There are the globalists who believe that we should be trading with all of the world, globalists who believe that we are obligated to get involved in civil wars in other countries in the name of preserving democratic rule. On the other side, there are those who don't want to get involved in foreign affairs in any way, shape, or form, who believe that the United States is better off if it remains as isolated as possible from what is going on in the rest of the world, and they believe in their heart that that is a way to increase American prosperity. And then there's economic issues. Basically, a struggle between the haves and the have-nots. If you are an American struggling to pay your bills and you see a horde of wealthy people who continue to enjoy great vacations and live in mansions and seem to have everything they could possibly need, at some point you may get a little riled up. And there are people in the United States really riled up because they don't think they're getting their share of the pie. I told you about the three branches. Now I'm going to explain what caused it. Starting on 9/11, when our intelligence bureaucracy somehow missed that there were terrorists on American soil planning to fly planes into the World Trade Center. It was the mortgage crisis in 2008, and Wall Street getting a bailout for their sins and Main Street being left behind. It was entering and fighting two wars after 9/11 without any idea of how we were going to win them. It was an opioid crisis that killed 600,000 people with a drug that was approved by the federal government. It was porous borders that allowed people to walk onto American soil, and for periods of time when neither party ever really wanted to do the hard work of fixing it. It was allowing China, which 25 years ago was an economic backwater, to rise to superpower status because we allowed them to join the World Trade Organization. It was a virus that escaped a Chinese lab that was partially funded by American tax dollars that killed 1.2 million Americans. Income inequality has grown over the last 25 years. In fact, 70% of the wealth in the United States is owned by 10% of the people. And those in the bottom half of income earners in the United States have less than 3%. That has also roiled our politics. All this on top of the fact that in the last 25 years, our national debt has risen from $6 trillion in the year 2000 to $38 trillion in the year 2025. All of this put together has undermined faith in the American democracy and produced three kinds of populism as hot as we have seen in a long, long time. Now, if you've paid attention to politics, you have seen this unfolding over the last 10 years. It was the rise of Donald Trump in 2016 with the populist message. It was the period in which Bernie Sanders became a national figure on the left railing about income inequality. This has not been a good time in the last 10 years to be an incumbent, because when people are angry, what happens is they'll replace the people in office, they'll hire new ones, and then they'll fire them if they don't get what they want, because these strains through the American body politic are leaving people really anxious and angry for answers. As a consequence of this, realignment is happening. Realignment is happening between parties. Realignment is happening within parties. In fact, there are two distinct branches of the Democrat Party today, and there are two distinct branches inside the Republican Party today. And what may eventually happen is one party or the other are going to appeal to the disaffected in the other party and put together what may become a new governing coalition that may be in power for a long, long time. Where does all this lead? I'm not a prophet, but I am a student of history. We have gone through this in our past. Our country was roiled by a civil war and conflict in the mid-1800s. And when it settled out, Republicans remained in control for 16 years. Our country was roiled by a depression in the 1930s. And when it was settled out, Democrats remained in power for 20 years. I can't predict what's going to happen, but I do know the path to success. It will be the party that proves it can get things done without destroying democracy. I say that because most Americans are predisposed to believe that they have a right to vote and change course when they wish, and they're not going to react well to somebody telling them that they can't do that anymore. Most Americans are predisposed to believe that capitalism is a force for good, and they're not going to react well to a party that wants to do away with it. Now, how does all this apply to you? There is a magic about politics that's different than any other profession. If you have something unique to say, if you contribute to the dialogue, if you prove yourself adept at fixing a problem or leading people, you can quickly rise to the top in the political arena. The world is your oyster. And if you want to get into the arena and be part of the solution, dive right in, because this is one of the most interesting periods in which America has ever lived. If you would like to get in the arena and perhaps run for office yourself, I got a free video for you in the link below. It's called How to Run for Office: 7 Essential Steps.